A deep dive into strategies of the warring states, the wisdom of power, and the code of a chaotic era. A timeless masterpiece of strategy spanning over 2 millennia, with sales exceeding 10 million, it continues to shape Chinese political culture to this day. Why does strategies of the warring states captivate emperors, generals, and business elites alike? How does it, through the verbal sparring of strategists, unveil the secrets of rise and fall in turbulent times? Let us step into the grand stage of the warring state 7 powers, exploring the radiant wisdom of this Eastern Bible of strategy. The stage of chaos, the dawn of the warring states era. The warring states period, from 475 BCE to 221 BCE, was a turbulent era of contending powers in Chinese history. The 7 states vied for supremacy, with lords rising and the world resembling a complex chessboard, where strategists wielded wisdom as their pieces, orchestrating plans from behind the scenes. Compiled by Liu Xiang in the Western Han Dynasty, Strategies of the Warring States spans 33 volumes and nearly 500 stories, documenting the intrigues, diplomacy, and wars from the late spring and autumn period to the unification under Qin. It is not a dry chronicle, but a vivid tapestry of character-driven stories and strategic contests, showcasing the interplay of human nature, power, and intellect. Why was the Warring States period so chaotic? The authority of the Zhou dynasty Son of Heaven had long been reduced to a hollow name, with rituals collapsing and order disintegrating. The 7 states Qi, Chu, Yan, Han, Zhao, Wei, and Qin engaged in fierce struggles for hegemony. Populations ranged from hundreds of thousands to millions. Territories interlocked like jagged teeth. Wars were incessant, and diplomacy was fraught with deception. For instance, Qin rose rapidly due to the fertile lands of Guanzhong and Shangyang's reforms, while Qi attracted global talent with the academic prosperity of the Jixia Academy. The chaos of the warring states was not only a stage for princely conflicts, but also a microcosm of societal transformation. Economic prosperity and technological advancements provided fertile ground for strategists to thrive. For example, the widespread use of iron tools and ox-driven plowing in the Warring States period significantly boosted agricultural productivity, with surplus grain supporting military expansion. Qi's Jixia Academy not only drew scholars, but also served as a cradle for strategists, where thinkers like Mencius and Zunzi debated, fostering the flourishing of 100 schools of thought. According to Strategies of the Warring States, Qi strategies, Duke Zuan of Qi loved talent, often hosting banquets to invite sages from across the land to discuss state affairs, creating an open cultural atmosphere where strategists thrived. Increased social mobility also paved the way for the rise of strategists. The warring states broke the hereditary system of noble privilege, allowing commoners like Su Qin and Fan Zhu to rise to prominence through their intellect. In Strategies of the Warring States, Wei Strategies, it is recorded that Wei's minister Zhu Jia once scorned Fan Zhu as a lowly man, unaware that Fan Zhu would later become Qin's prime minister. This class mobility ignited the ambitions of strategists and made rulers increasingly reliant on their wisdom. Modern society, too, is filled with opportunities driven by technological and social changes. In the late 20th century, the rise of the internet enabled ordinary individuals to achieve leaps through knowledge and creativity. For example, in 1998, Google founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin, starting as Stanford students, transformed information access with their search engine innovation. Much like warring states, strategists reshaped their destinies through intellect. The societal shifts of the warring states remind us, chaos is not only a crisis, but also a stage for talent to shine. Can you find your place in today's era of change? Strategists traveled among states, wielding the power of persuasion to shape national destinies. Su Qin united 6 states against Qin with his vertical alliance strategy, while Zhang Yi cleared obstacles for Qin with his horizontal alliance approach. Their stories still are inspiring today. Imagine a modern diplomat, Aaron Carter, navigating a complex multilateral negotiation. How would she use precise language and strategy to sway all sides? This is the enduring allure of Strategies of the Warring States. It is not just a historical record, but a textbook on understanding human nature and strategic gamesmanship. Next, we will delve into the wisdom of strategists and covering the core value of this classic. The art of strategists, the craft of verbal combat. The soul of Strategies of the Warring States lies in its strategists, who used words as swords, swaying rulers, and altering outcomes. The book chronicles the legendary tales of Su Qin, Zhang Yi, Fan Zhu, and Yi Wei Yi, whose wisdom went beyond eloquence to a precise grasp of human nature, timing, and interests. Take Su Qin as an example. Strategies of the Warring States. Zhao Strategies records, Su Qin initially proposed a horizontal alliance to Qin, then studied tirelessly at night, unearthing dozens of texts, including Tai Gong's secret strategies, reading day and night, pricking his thigh to stay awake. Su Qin, born humble, failed in his first attempt to persuade the king of Qin and returned home to family ridicule. He secluded himself to study, even piercing his thigh to stay alert, eventually devising the vertical alliance strategy, rallying 6 states to resist Qin, earning the seals of their prime ministers and fame across the land. His success stemmed from 3 factors: understanding each state's interests, crafting clear persuasive logic, and unrelenting perseverance. Similar stories resonate in modern times. In 2015, when Tesla faced a financial crisis, Elon Musk personally persuaded investors with the clear vision of electric vehicles' future and detailed data, securing funding and turning the company's fortunes around. Musk's speeches, like Su Qin's persuasions, first captured attention with the sense of crisis, then inspired confidence with a vision, and finally dispelled doubts with strategy. This structured persuasive logic remains a model for modern business negotiations and public speaking. Why were the strategists' persuasions so effective? Strategies of the Warring States reveals the art of persuasion. Know yourself and your audience. Adapt to the situation and build arguments step by step. For example, when Su Qin persuaded the king of Zhao, he first created urgency with the Qin threat, then inspired hope with the 6-state alliance vision, and finally addressed concerns with concrete strategies. Su Qin's success lay not only in logic, but also in precise psychological manipulation. In Strategies of the Warring States, Yan Strategies, Su Qin persuaded the king of Yan by first instilling fear with, Yan is vast but sparsely populated, easily swallowed by Qin, then painting hope with a vertical alliance to preserve Yan, and finally boosting credibility by noting, Zhao has already agreed. This strategy leveraged the human psychological principle of loss aversion. People fear losing what they have more than they desire new gains. Su Qin mastered this, amplifying rulers' fears to prompt swift decisions. Modern psychological research supports this approach's effectiveness. In 2008, psychologist Daniel Kahneman's studies showed that people make decisions twice as fast when facing potential losses compared to potential gains. Similarly, in 2021, advertising executive Emma Wilson pitched a campaign by first highlighting the risk of losing market share, then showcasing the potential of a new ad, securing the client's approval. This psychological insight mirrors Su Qin's approach. Strategies of the Warring States also demonstrates the anchoring effect. Strategists often proposed extreme plans first, then offered a compromise, making the latter more acceptable. For instance, Su Qin, when persuading the king of Qi, first suggested full-scale war preparations, then proposed a more feasible alliance against Qin, making the latter seem practical. This technique is widely used in modern negotiations, such as salespeople quoting high prices before offering discounts to close deals. This logic applies not only to warring states' rulers, but also to modern workplaces. In 2022, tech company manager Sophia Landon convinced her executives to adopt a new project by first outlining a market crisis, then proposing a solution, and finally backing it with data. However, the strategists' wisdom had limitations. Their persuasions often relied on personal charisma and short-term impact, lacking long-term institutional support. Though Su Qin achieved the vertical alliance, it crumbled due to the state's self-interests. This prompts us to reflect: how can wisdom find lasting balance in chaotic times? Strategies of the Warring States offers profound insights through these stories. Vertical and horizontal alliances. Strategic wisdom in the game of power. The core contest of the Warring States lies in the vertical and horizontal alliances. The most iconic strategic wisdom and strategies of the Warring States. The vertical alliance united 6 states to counter Qin, while the horizontal alliance saw Qin with states to defeat them one by one. Behind these strategies lies a deep understanding of power, interests, and timing. In Strategies of the Warring States, Wei Strategies, Zhang Yi persuaded the king of Wei. Qin seeks to swallow the 6 states and extinguish the lords. I propose Wei aligns with Qin. Using Qin's formidable military might as leverage, Zhang Yi lured Wei to abandon the vertical alliance and align with Qin. He used the metaphor, when lips are gone, teeth grow cold, to warn Wei of isolation if it resisted Qin. Zhang Yi's horizontal alliance strategy focused on dividing opponents and dismantling alliances one by one. For example, he first persuaded Wei, then courted Han and Qi, gradually weakening the vertical alliance, paving the way for Qin's unification. Modern business wars abound with similar tactics. In the 1990s, Microsoft weakened Netscape's browser market share through exclusive deals with hardware vendors, akin to Zhang Yi's horizontal alliance, dividing and conquering competitors. During the 2008 financial crisis, EU nations united to counter economic shocks, resembling Su Qin's vertical alliance, using collective defense against external pressures. The wisdom of vertical and horizontal alliances lies in balancing short-term and long-term interests. Su Qin's vertical alliance seemed formidable but collapsed due to the state's selfish motives. Zhang Yi's horizontal alliance, though effective short-term, sowed seeds of discord for Qin's later rule. Zhang Yi's strategy, while helping Qin defeat rivals, planted long-term risks. In Strategies of the Warring States, Han Strategies, Zhang Yi convinced the king of Han to align with Qin, promising protection, but Qin swiftly annexed Han once it weakened. This trust-for-profit tactic, while effective short-term, led to a trust crisis after Qin's unification, with surrendered vassals harboring resentment, contributing to the Qin dynasty's collapse after 2 generations. Modern international relations reflect similar lessons. During the Cold War, the US used economic aid to court allies, akin to a horizontal alliance, but some nations, like France in the 1960s, maintained independent diplomacy within NATO, weakening US control. The cost of the horizontal alliance also lies in resource depletion. Strategies of the Warring States, Qin Strategies notes that the king of Qin, supporting Zhang Yi, frequently bestowed gold and silk, straining the treasury. In modern business, over-relying on dividing competitors can backfire. In the 2010s, a retail giant weakened rivals through price wars but suffered profit losses, limiting its own expansion. These stories remind us strategy must balance short-term gains with long-term stability. Have you ever prioritized short-term gains in decision-making, overlooking long-term consequences? Strategies of the Warring States teaches us through these stories. Strategic success requires not only wisdom, but also trust and cooperation. For instance, in 2021, a multinational corporate alliance, inspired by the Vertical Alliance, shared resources to navigate a supply chain crisis successfully. Why are vertical and horizontal alliances so captivating? They are not just interstate games, but a microcosm of human self-interest and cooperation. Imagine how you balance personal goals with collective interests in a team setting. The strategic wisdom of Strategies of the Warring States provides a framework for such reflections. More deeply, these alliances hinge on timing. In Strategies of the Warring States, key strategies, Lord Menking, during Qin's crisis, allied with Zhao and Wei to counter Qin, successfully averting disaster. His success lay in precisely gauging Qin's expansion pace and striking at the optimal moment. Modern entrepreneurs need similar acumen. In 2020, an e-commerce platform seized the online shopping surge during the pandemic, partnering with suppliers to launch new services, capturing market share, a modern echo of Strategies of the Warring States wisdom. The game of power, the delicate balance of ruler and vassal. In Strategies of the Warring States, the ruler-vassal relationship is the core stage of strategic maneuvering. Strategists persuaded rulers who relied on them, yet both sides were often rife with suspicion and calculation. This delicate power dynamic forms the unique political landscape of the Warring States. Fan Zhu story, Strategies of the Warring States, Qin strategies records. When Fan Zhu arrived in Qin, the king of Qin welcomed him in court, treating him as an honored guest. Originally a minor Wei official, Fan Zhu nearly died from false accusations, fled to Qin, and persuaded King Zhao with the distant alliances, nearby attack strategy, replacing the powerful Marquis Rang to become Qin's prime minister. His success lay in analyzing King Zhao's psyche, eager for expansion yet wary of noble factions. By proposing strengthen the trunk, weaken the branches to curb nobles and bolster royal power, Fan Zhu earned deep trust. Fan Zhu's persuasion showcased not only wisdom, but also the art of using strength against strength in power games. Similar stories abound in modern workplaces. In 2017, Google executive Sundar Pichai, amidst internal power struggles, won CEO Larry Page's trust with a clear AR strategy, gradually taking the company's helm. Pichai's success, like Fan Zhu's, lay in aligning with the leader's needs to secure trust and resources while maintaining independence. His AI strategy, akin to Fan Zhu's distant alliances, nearby attacks, served corporate goals while cementing his position. The wisdom of ruler-vassal dynamics lies in balancing loyalty and independence. In Strategies of the Warring States, strategists often navigated between pleasing rulers and upholding principles. For instance, in Strategies of the Warring States, Zhao strategies, Lin Zhongru, after returning the jade intact to Zhao, faced General Lion posed provocations but resolved conflict with a nation first, personal grudges later mindset, earning the king of Zhao's trust. This wisdom teaches us, in power games, loyalty must prioritize the greater good, not blind obedience. In 2023, a company manager, James Hall, faced executive disputes and used data-driven analysis and team interests to mediate, earning a promotion. Building trust between rulers and vassals is a recurring theme in Strategies of the Warring States. In Strategies of the Warring States, Wei strategist Gongsun Yan persuaded the king of Wei with a 5-state attack on Qi plan, succeeding by using detailed intelligence and understanding the king's personality to dispel suspicions. Gongsun Yan first highlighted Qi's expansion threat, supported his plan with historical precedents, and flattered the king's ego by positioning Wei as the alliance leader. This trust building is equally critical in modern organizations. In 2018, a consulting firm partner, Carlos Mendes, faced skepticism from executives, but won support for a new project with thorough market research and tailored appeals to leadership preferences. His approach mirrored Gongsun Yan's, grounding arguments in data and securing buy-in through respect for leadership psychology. Strategies of the Warring States also reveals the fragility of trust. Though Fan Zhu won King Zhao's trust with distant alliances, nearby attacks, he was later sidelined as his power grew too great. This reminds us, trust requires ongoing maintenance, not a one-time achievement. In modern workplaces, managers build team trust through regular communication and transparent decisions. In 2024, a tech company supervisor, Li Wei, ensured information symmetry through weekly team reviews, preventing mistrust, echoing the strategist's wisdom. Yet, ruler-vassal dynamics carry risks. Strategists like Su Qin were assassinated, Zhang Yi faced suspicion, and Fan Zhu was sidelined in his later years. These stories caution us, while strategy yields short-term success, long-term risks demand caution. In modern organizations, how do you balance loyalty and independence? Strategies of the Warring States offers historical wisdom through vivid stories. Cultural convergence, the clash of 100 schools of thought. The Warring States was not only a stage for strategy, but also a crucible for ideas. In Strategies of the Warring States, strategists' persuasions blended Confucian, Daoist, Legalist, and military school ideas, showcasing cultural diversity and convergence. Take Lord Menking, Strategies of the Warring States. Key Strategies notes his fame for nurturing talent, hosting 3,000 retainers, from Confucian advocates of benevolence to legalist pragmatists. Lord Menking excelled at inclusivity, using benevolence to win hearts and strategy to govern his fief. For example, he helped retainer Feng Zuan resolve a debt crisis, demonstrating benevolence while boosting his fief's economy through market righteousness, blending Confucian and legalist wisdom. Similarly, Sun Bin's besiege Wei to save Zhao strategy, rooted in the military school's indirect approach, is recorded in Strategies of the Warring States. Key strategies: Sun Bin told Tan Ji, Wei and Zhao are at odds. Qi's army can save Zhao by striking Wei's weakness, forcing Wei to abandon Zhao to defend itself. Sun Bin's intellectual victory not only saved Zhao, but secured a major win for Qi, embodying military school brilliance. This approach remains relevant in modern military and business contexts. In 2022, a tech company avoided a rival's core market, targeting its weaker niche segment, capturing market share, akin to Sun Bin's indirect tactics. The convergence of the 100 schools is also evident in strategists' debates. In Strategies of the Warring States, Chu strategies, Zhong Xin, persuading the king of Chu, invoked Daoist non-action principles, warning that indulgence would weaken the state, spurring reform. This flexible use of ideas highlights the Warring States' cultural openness. In modern business, Apple's blend of Steve Jobs' artistic aesthetics and technical innovation created a unique culture, akin to the strategist's inclusivity. Why is the convergence of the 100 schools so vital? It reminds us, a single perspective is limiting. Diverse integration tackles complex challenges. In 2021, a startup team combined tech experts and marketers to launch an innovative product, breaking industry barriers. The 100 schools and strategies of the Warring States were not just theories, but practical tools. In Strategies of the Warring States, Chu strategies, Kuyuan used Confucian benevolent governance to urge King Huai of Chu to ally with Qi against Qin, but failed due to the king's short-sighted greed. Kuyuan's tragedy reflects Confucian ideals' limits in chaotic times, but teaches us ideas must align with reality to succeed. Conversely, legalist thought found greater success. In Strategies of the Warring States, Qin strategies, Shang Yang persuaded Duke Zhao of Qin with rule by law, abolishing hereditary privileges and rewarding agriculture and warfare, transforming Qin from a marginal state to a hegemon. Shang Yang's success lay in turning ideas into actionable systems, akin to modern lean production. In the 1980s, Toyota's Toyota production system optimized efficiency through systematic processes, dominating the global auto market, reflecting legalist law as foundation wisdom. Daoist thought also appeared among strategists. In Strategies of the Warring States, Zhao's strategist Chu Long humbly cited his ailing feet to persuade the Queen Mother, securing an alliance with Qi. His retreat to advance approach echoed Daoist softness overcomes strength. In modern negotiations, this tactic resolves deadlocks. In 2023, diplomat Isabella Gonzalez used a gentle demeanor at an international conference to ease tensions, securing a multilateral agreement, a modern application of Daoist wisdom. These stories show the power of ideas lies in their practical application. Warring State strategists wove Confucian, legalist, and Daoist ideas into their persuasions, turning theory into strategy, inspiring us to blend theory with practice. Have you ever flexibly applied diverse mindsets to solve complex problems at work? Strategies of the Warring States reveals how intellectual collisions spark creativity. Human nature in chaos. The interplay of desire and wisdom. Human nature is the eternal theme of Strategies of the Warring States. The persuasions of strategists, decisions of rulers, and struggles of lords reveal the interplay of desire, fear, and wisdom. Take Liu Yi, Strategies of the Warring States. Yan's strategies records him leading Yan's coalition to conquer over 70 key cities, shaking the world. Yet, after Duke Hui of Yan ascended, suspicion drove Liu Yi to flee to Zhao. Liu Yi's tragedy stemmed from the ruler's fear of his overwhelming success. Similar tales echo through history, like the Song dynasty's Liu Fei, killed on baseless charges, a lamentable loss. In modern workplaces, such human dynamics persist. In 2020, tech executive Alan Brown was sidelined despite stellar performance, as his innovations threatened his superior's authority. He adopted a low-profile strategy, regaining trust, mirroring Yi's resilience. Strategies of the Warring States reminds us, wisdom must pair with human insight to endure. How do desires drive history? Strategies of the Warring States showcases rulers' thirst for power, strategists' pursuit of fame, and how wisdom navigates these desires. In Strategies of the Warring States, Han strategies, Han Fei's legalist persuasions, though rejected by the King of Han, provided Qin a blueprint for governance. His failure and success reflect human nature's complexity. In modern times, in 2019, startup founder Marianne Duval, in funding talks, keenly understood investors' interests, securing trust with a clear business model, akin to strategists' persuasive wisdom. Strategies of the Warring States also reveals human nature's multifaceted nature through strategists' successes and failures. In Strategies of the Warring States, Key Strategies, Key strategist Zhu Ji used the beauty of my concubine metaphor to warn Duke Wei of Qi about flattery's dangers, fostering political clarity. Zhu Ji's wisdom lay in using everyday analogies to expose human weaknesses, akin to modern leadership's mirror effect. In 2022, executive Anna Claire noticed employees had issues due to fear of criticism. Drawing on Zhu Ji's approach, she shared her own mistakes publicly, encouraging open communication and boosting efficiency. Zhu Ji and Anna's stories show understanding and guiding human weaknesses is central to leadership. Strategies of the Warring States also highlights the interplay of betrayal and loyalty. Su Qin, despite his vertical alliance success, was assassinated due to rulers' suspicions, reflecting human distrust. Similarly, modern teamwork often falters due to mistrust. In 2023, a project manager used transparent performance reviews and team incentives to dispel suspicions, echoing Zhu Ji's wisdom and underscoring the importance of managing human nature. Her success stemmed from understanding humans' self-interested motives. Strategies of the Warring States prompts us to ponder, how do we balance desire and reason? These stories offer profound insights, timeless wisdom, modern lessons from Strategies of the Warring States. Strategies of the Warring States is not just a historical record, but an eternal textbook on wisdom and strategy. Its core value lies in offering wisdom to navigate a complex world through strategists' persuasions, strategic contests, and human insights. In modern society, the strategist's wisdom remains relevant. In business negotiations, Su Qin's vertical alliance logic inspires resource integration and alliance building. Zhang Yi's horizontal alliance strategy teaches us to divide and conquer. In the workplace, Fan Zhu's using strength against strength shows how to thrive in power dynamics. Lord Menkang's inclusivity encourages integrating diverse cultures to spark innovation. More crucially, Strategies of the Warring States reveals that wisdom lies not only in strategy, but in understanding human nature and timing. In 2023, entrepreneur Sophia Landon, facing corporate bankruptcy, drew on strategies of the Warring States to unite partners and optimize resources, turning the tide. Her success hinged on keenly grasping human nature and timing. Strategies of the Warring States also teaches us to handle uncertainty. In the chaotic Warring States, strategists navigated ever-changing situations with insight and adaptability. Modern society, with its economic volatility and technological shifts, is similarly unpredictable. In 2022, a multinational CEO, James Hall, faced a supply chain crisis and, inspired by the vertical alliance, united suppliers and clients to stabilize the market. This adaptability is a modern echo of Strategies of the Warring States' wisdom. Let us conclude with a story. In 2024, young entrepreneur Li Xiang, developing a new product, faced team discord and market pressures. Drawing on Lord Menkang's talent-nurturing approach, he listened to his team, integrated resources, and launched a successful product. His journey teaches us, wisdom is not just strategy, but the power of inclusivity and perseverance. Strategies of the Warring States asks, in this world of gamesmanship, are you ready to write your own legend with wisdom? Let us draw strength from this classic to meet future challenges.